Good morning. We're going to give it just one more minute. We have a lot of people registered for this webinar, so just bear with us here. So one more minute, we'll get started. Thank you so much for everyone who got online early. Appreciate it. Just give it one more minute and we'll go ahead and get started here. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. My name is Josh Elohim. I'll be your speaker for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to get on the call here. Hopefully everyone's family, everyone's safe amongst all this craziness here. I know we're in some very interesting times here. Just some quick housekeeping for the purposes of the call. Everyone's going to be muted just so we can get through this smoothly. If there are questions, we're going to have a Q&A at the end. Just go ahead and on the right-hand side, you can put in your questions into the question area there. If for some reason you're not set up with Quote and Apply, there is a chat in the chat box. You can click in the chat box and you can sign right up and get your own custom account. And I'll kind of remind you as we go through there. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity. So the webinar today was offering LTC riders through Quote and Apply. So that's the purposes of the call here. So I still see more people getting on here as we speak right now, but let's go ahead and get started here. So what I wanted to do here, hopefully majority of you have seen Quote and Apply. If you haven't, it's a quoting technology that we offer to agents, and it's agent and it's consumer facing. It allows you to run life insurance quotes in seconds and apply in minutes. So what I want to do is just get through this first part here, and then we're going to start talking about long-term care and the challenges of long-term care. So here we go. If you haven't seen this, I apologize, and most people have. So this is the Quote and Apply technology. You put your client's name in here, we hit the next button, and then we ask you some really difficult questions, right? So I'll just pick up myself here. Put your client's health in. 5 hearts is preferred best, all the way down to 1 heart, which is a low standard rating. Let's just go with 4 for now. As we know, we just used to have a smoker, non-smoker question, but as we know, people are smoking different things now, right? So the question is, what are you smoking? How often are you smoking it? I can also say never. Another big thing that knocks people out of their preferred best category is their height, weight. So if you're 5'9", 300 pounds, you won't get the best health class. So you can, it's a personal question, so you can also skip it. You put your client's date of birth in, and minus us talking, you get rates. So I kind of want to stop right there, and I want to go really, again, the goal here was long-term care. So let's just go to our permanent section here where we're going to talk about long-term care, and I'll stop right there. What are some of the challenges with long-term care? The traditional side is what I'm talking about. So the first thing is that it's extremely expensive. Obviously, the rates back in the day, it was priced very competitively, but they didn't realize all the claims that were going to happen. So the price has gone up a lot. Second challenge is that it's use it or lose it. So you could basically pay that premium for for 20, 25 years, and guess what? You're not going to get any of your money back. That's a pretty expensive auto insurance right there. Third challenge is that your price is not locked in. It can go up or down at any given time. I'm not sure if any of you heard, but Mass Mutual just had a 75% price increase for the long-term care. So imagine being 80, 85, 90 years old and having that could be a devastation to you at that age. So the life insurance carriers finally got smart, and they created something called a long-term care rider. Now, how this works is whatever my death benefit, so you see in my screen here, whatever my death benefit is, it's the key thing is that that's the pool of money you get for long-term care. So for example, if I have $1 million death benefit, I add the long-term care rider, it simply just gives me a pool of $1 million for long-term care. If there is a long-term care issue, it just merely draws down from the death benefit dollar for dollar. So let's say one year I had a $100,000 long-term care issue after this policy is in place. Again, my new death benefit, we need 900,000. You can exhaust the whole death benefit here. And then what happens is that you also have a 10% residual burial insurance. So I'm a huge fan of long-term care riders. Just so you know, it's just like traditional long-term care. You can't call it a long-term care rider if you can't even use the word LTC if it's not like that. So in essence, it's just like traditional long-term care. I have to have 2 of my 6 ADLs, my activities of daily living. I can't eat, I can't bathe, I can't dress myself, and then it's a 90-day elimination period. So very similar to your traditional long-term care. Now, when I stack this up against the long-term care rider, now let's go back to our 3 things. First thing is a life insurance chassis, so it is competitively priced. The second thing is that it's the use it or lose it. No matter what happens here, I'm going to have a benefit, no matter what. So I'm not going to be stuck with paying the premium for 20, 30 years and then not getting anything out of it. And then the last thing is that the pricing, as long as it's a life insurance chassis, as long as you pay your premium, then they can't raise the price there. So to me, it's really the future where life insurance is heading. So let me give you the visual of how you actually do this on Quote and Apply. So again, you can pick several different products here. You can do protection IUL, or you could do universal life. So one or the other. So again, whatever my death benefit is, it simply gives me the pool of money for long-term care. I can move my slider and change the amount. Let's just keep it at $1 million to make it easy. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my next button. And again, so you can do this via Zoom if you like. I'm a big fan. There's other providers out there, and you can actually sell this right from home, right as we speak right now. Did you see how fast that just came up? This gives me chills every time I see it, because in the past, we had to run these illustrations. So this might take you 4 or 5 meetings going back and forth face to face. And now we're seeing it happen in 1 or 2 just because I can answer the client's questions. So if you look here, John Hancock pops up. We have my $1 million death benefit. The premium is cheap because I put around a 42-year-old in there. So that's hence why it's so cheap right now. So I can go ahead and scroll down, and if you look, I have multiple options. I have nationwide here, and I also have Prudential. So obviously different pricing, different products. So there you go. So this is great, Josh, but how do I add the long-term care rider? So all I do now is I scroll to the bottom here, and I can say with LTC Ryder. I just go ahead and click on that button. I can get up to 4%. I'll leave it at that. And then I just hit the rerun button. So again, in the past, what had to happen here? You had to call your GA. You had to get the changes. God forbid the client says, hey, I want to actually get a revision here. And then now you're another couple days to a week in the past. Did you see how fast that just happened right there? I just added the long-term care rider. So let's give you a visual here. I have my $1 million death benefit, but I also have up to 4% or $40,000 a month to pay for long-term care. So people might say, hey, that sounds like a lot of money here. Well, just so you know, and I have a marketing piece I'm going to show you here in a second, but the average cost of long-term care in 2013 was around $73,000. In 2048, you're looking at roughly almost $500,000. So there's no inflation built into this product here. So if you want inflation, you just increase the death benefit. So that's really how it works here, how I run the quotes. Pretty straightforward. Most of the time, we see clients are able to make decisions right here. They don't have to see anything else. But let's just say that, they say, hey, you know what? I want to see the illustration for some reason. Well, again, before you went back to your GA and asked for the illustration, now I just click right there. So it's physically pulling up the illustration as we speak right now. Again, never in the history of our business have you, the agent, been able to pivot so quickly right in front of your client. It's been an absolute game changer for people making decisions. So this gives me goosebumps again, just seeing it. So now I can zoom right in. And so when I say sell life insurance from your website, I'm not exaggerating. You can do that right here. Because look, we're in here. There's a little snapshot of what's going on here. So there's my premium. Okay, there's my $1 million death benefit / pool of money for long-term care. And look, then I can get up to 4% or up to $40,000 a month. Here's what it covers. The thing people really want to have is that home health care. They want to make sure that they can be taken care of at their home. So there's kind of a little foundation. Now, if I want, I can dive into what we call the meat and potatoes here. And I can dive right into the illustration here. So there you go. There we go. So there you go. So this option I picked here it has a death benefit. It has the pool of money for long-term care, and this option also has a little bit of cash growing in the policy. So really, there's 3 bells and whistles here. John Hancock does not have a true guaranteed UL product. So if you only wanted the death benefit and long-term care, you would go with like a nationwide. As you see, it's a little more expensive because it's all guaranteed, but you would go with a company like that you can add the rider to. Those are kind of my 2 go-tos, John Hancock and Nationwide for the long-term care rider. So you can do it, you can make that change there. So again, we have our death benefit, we have a pool of money for long-term care, and then we also have some cash. So let's say you paid for this for 20 years, you never needed the money, the long-term care. Now you have, again, it's not designed to match what you put into it. It's just another bell and whistle to help to talk about it. Some of your clients will say, I don't want a death benefit. I don't need a death benefit. And I say, that's fine. Do you need long-term care? Absolutely. So let me give you a great visual. I'm going to pivot here for one quick second to a marketing piece that tells a great story. We kind of combine like 3 different carriers into one marketing piece here. Now, this is the reason why clients need long-term care. If you want this marketing piece, just let me know. I can send it to you, or your marketing manager can send it to you as well. So discover the living benefits from long-term care riders. A lot of people are turned off by life insurance because they can't get any, they think about just term insurance. Well, what we're calling this is living benefits. What can I get here while I'm alive right now? So if you look here, you don't think you need long-term care is unnecessary. You might want to think again. So the chances of being in a fire, 1 in 1,200. Chances of being in a car accident, 1 in 240. How about the chance of needing long-term care? 1 in 2. It's pretty scary. I know everyone on this phone call probably knows someone, maybe their parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles that have been affected by long-term care. It's a big issue for a lot of people. And you all on this call can really help to address this, I call it the tsunami that's coming here for long-term care. Now, you wouldn't consider going without, homeowners insurance or auto insurance. Why risk long-term care? We talked about the cost for long-term care. This is really an eye-opener for people. There's your 2013 around 75K, but have a look here. I mean, the cost is just going up and up and up and up. It's going to be a really big problem. And how many baby boomers do we actually have right now? We all know the answer is a lot. So this is a critical piece to the equation. For any financial planners who are on the call, obviously you have money under management and you want to protect that. Well, long-term care can really be a devastation. So it's really good to address this early on, and that way it's taken care of for if and when it does occur. So this kind of gives you a breakdown of how the long-term care rider works. Again, we already talked about that with whatever the death benefit is, giving you a pool of money for long-term care. If there is a long-term care issue, it draws down from the death benefit dollar for dollar. Any long-term care benefit comes out tax-free. And then the key thing is, again, no matter what happens, the benefit's going to be used. There's a little case study here about Mary, whose parents had some major LTC issues that they dealt with. She did not want to be a burden on her kids. So what she simply did was take out a $500,000 policy, added a long-term care rider to it. So again, this is a really cool marketing piece. It opens up the eyes to a lot of people. You can use that if you like there. Let's go back here. So hopefully that helps you guys out. So again, you can run quotes here. You can pull up the application. What if your client says, hey, this is great, but I want to make some changes. I can't really do $1 million, but what about 500,000? So again, on the spot, you plug in his changes. I don't want to pay for this forever. I'd like to pay. Can we do a shorter pay? Sure. How does 10 years sound? Perfect. I just put my changes in there. I hit the run illustration. What we're seeing on our side is meetings are going from 4 or 5 meetings to get this stuff done in the past. So now all of a sudden I can get this done in 1 or 2 meetings because I can just give the person what they're asking for. You see how easy that was? Just to make changes right on the spot. We're so excited, everyone on the call here, about kind of what's happening here and how this is working. We're only getting better and better. We haven't scratched the surface of things we're going to be adding here and changes are going to be made. One thing that's really important to understand is that we're not geniuses here. This system got the way it was because of you. So give us feedback. You're on the front lines. Hey, I like this, Josh. I don't like this. Can we make this change? Everything you're seeing here is 100% from scratch, which is a blessing because we built everything. The challenge is that if you say, I want to make a change, we have to change it. So there is work involved in getting it changed there. So give us your feedback. Tell us what you like. Again, the illustration is right there if I want to. So here's the best part. Okay, this is great. I want to do this. What's next? Obviously, that means they want to buy. So I always joke around and say, I like in the situation that you like John Hancock, but guess what? They want to date you as well. They have some questions for you, meaning an application and an exam. So again, this is probably a 60 to 70 page paper application, super long. So I hit the apply button. You see how it just brought me right into the application? Let's run through this very quickly. I put in my client's email and their phone number. Two very important things are going to happen when I hit this next button. First thing is whatever email I put in there, that client's going to receive an email letting them know an application is going to be started. So technically, I could do this, hit the next button, walk away, and be done with it. Let's say that you take your link and you put it on social media, or you do a long-term care marketing campaign, or you put it on your website and someone clicks on it and applies, you probably want to know about it, correct? Absolutely. So when you hit that, so you're going to also get an email as well. I put the first part of my address in here, just 310. Do you see how all the information just auto-populated? So we pull from the computer's IP address, which is scary and cool all at the same time. We just added this recently, but we know there's people who are not, don't have jobs who are going to buy insurance. It might be for a disabled person, a homemaker, a student, a child, retired. So you can plug that in. Let's just assume they do have a job. We'll do back 9 insurance. We'll say sales. I put in my company address. Again, all the information auto-populates. Is the insured going to be the owner of the policy? If no, okay, who will be? If yes, all right, well, who's going to be the beneficiary? Will it be a trust, a business, or individual? We are set up for 1035s as well. So you can do this all right here. Just to make it easy, we'll say individual. We'll say Mrs. Doe. We'll say this is the wife. We'll save that. I can split up the beneficiary 50-50 right here if I want to. Let's keep going. I can add a contingent beneficiary to back up the primary. At this point, for any Redtail users who are on the call, a good amount of this information can be auto-populated when you go through Redtail. Put in the driver's license. Put in state. As you can all see, I've done this a few times, right? If the client has any existing life insurance, I would simply just add the policy right there. Let's just say no for now. By a raise of hands that I can't see, how many people have had issues with APSs, annual physician statements? I'm sure there's probably a few hands up right now. So they could be a nightmare. Well, you're going to love this. Just recently, about, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, they made it mandatory for a lot of these big medical facilities to have their records online. So if you look here, here's a list of some companies. We're out here in California. We have Kaiser. We call it the kiss of death. So in essence, you plug in your medical facility here. I'd say about 80% of companies are on here. The small mom and pop shops don't necessarily have to abide. So again, most of them will be on there. Let's just say it was Kaiser to make it easy. You have your client put in their username and their password. You hit the connect button. We were able to pull those medical records instantaneously right on the spot. This has been an absolute game changer for us to be able to get medical records. If the client does not know their username and password, they can reset it right here. You can also create an account if they don't have one. It's not the end of the world if you say no right now, because guess what? We're going to go back. Let's say an APS company asked for an APS a week or 2 from now. We're going to go ahead and do the same exact process of requesting that this way, as well as using our normal copy service. So here's all the medical questions. We're almost finished. We do have a really cool invite feature. So in the past, maybe you had to print, fax, scan, mail the application to the client. You don't mind doing that, but how many times does the application never come back to you? So now all you have to do is hit this copy and close, paste that into an email. Hey, Mr. Smith, took the liberty of starting an application for you. All you have to do is click on the link, you put in your date of birth, and it brings you right back to wherever you left off in the application. So that's really a great feature here. If you didn't put that height weight in the beginning, you have to put something in there now. So I'll just plug in mine. Again, this is a 60 or 70 page application. So I did it on purpose and I showed the longest one possible. Again, most of the information is going to be no here. So I'll just run through this. I did have one agent in New York say, can we get one button that says no for everything and call it a day? I was like, I love the way you're thinking. As we know, the carriers will never go for that. You're going to see more long-term care questions in here. This will probably take you and or the client, I'd say maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 if they have answered yes to some questions. A lot of agents are trained to collect money before they leave the meeting. So if you look here, here's a simple way to put in the EFT form, your routing number, your account number. It does not bill the client. It just simply puts it on file so you don't have to go back and ask for it again. You can also skip it. All right, last two steps and we're done. By a raise of hands, how many people have had issues with exams? When it comes to the examiner, the client, the agent, and the GA, that's 4 ways that things can go wrong. And Lord knows none of us are perfect, right? So have a look here. Based on whatever zip code you put in across the country, this is a live calendar from exam 1 of real times that are available to set up your exam. So if I would say I want to lock in this Friday at 9 a.m., I just hit schedule. I hit yes. We just booked the exam. It was that easy. The client will get a calendar invite right to their calendar to remind them. The examiner calls the client the day before as well. So ever since we've implemented this new system, our exam completion ratio has gone through the roof, and you can probably see why. All right, last 2 steps. Hopefully you're on the call in Zoom with your client, so you can just hit sign now. Maybe for some reason, if you're not, you could hit sign via email. Let's say you're face-to-face when we get past all this madness, or the client's doing this 100% by themselves, they just hit sign now. And just like that, all their information auto-populates a DocuSign, a fully completed 60, 70-page paper application. My finger's getting tired here, so hopefully you'll take my word for it. Hopefully you're all familiar with DocuSign. This is like the cherry on top of the sundae here. Normally what I do in my webinars or in my Zoom meetings is I pass the screen to an agent right now, and I let them finish the application just to show them that, hey, you really can do this from home right now. So again, last month we had a record month for applications. People are panicking right now when they're buying life insurance. So just to give you a visual, I hit adopt, I sign, I'm at the end of the race here. So now I'm just moving right along here. My last thing I'm going to sign here, there's the illustration. If you look right there, I'm signing the illustration. I go to the top. Welcome to the future where life insurance is heading. We just finished a 60, 70 page application. What was that, about 2 minutes and 58 seconds, minus us talking here? There you go. Just so you know, the most important person in this conversation is done, which is the client. They don't have to do anything else. The agent's going to receive an email. It's going to be from DocuSign. You put the last 4 of your social in. You sign, sign, sign. You do your agent report. At that point, you're finished. Once you finish that part, the application is going to go into what's called your BOSS system here and get sent automatically out to the carrier. This stands for Back Office Support System. So what this does is it tracks all your business from submission to commission. But just so you know, every person has an e-app section here that tracks every single time someone clicks on your link. I don't want to go too deep into that. What I really want to do is talk about the marketing aspect of this. This is great, Josh, but how do I get this message out to my clients while I'm sitting here at home and I can't do anything? Well, we kind of racked our brains here at Back 9 because the challenge we found was that agents get really excited about quote and apply. This is the best thing since sliced bread in their minds. But then we hang up the phone from them and guess what? Nothing happens. Unfortunately, you go back to your regular business. So we added a really cool marketing feature here in the BOSS. You do have to be logged in to have access to this. Everyone who has an account can log in. By the way, as a reminder, if for some reason you don't have a quote and apply account, you can go into the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen and you can click on the link and you can set up your own quote and apply and BOSS account today, right now, complimentary. So please go ahead and do that if you don't have an account. So you click on this marketing tab here. Now look at this. We've handpicked, created 7 different templates for you to pick from. Business life insurance, final expense, IUL, policy reviews. There's my life with long-term care rider. New mortgages, no exam life insurance. Let's just pick on long-term care since that's the topic here. So what it's doing right now is it's pulling up the campaign. So there's your campaign. We made this extremely simple. If you added your picture, it'll appear right there. If I scroll down, all my contact information will be right there. I click on this link, again, it's going to go to you. So here are your options. Option 1, I can put up to 100 emails right here on the spot if I want to. Super simple, send this out to your clients. I'll just show you how it works. I put in 1 email. If you're going to do more than 1, you can separate it by comma or semicolon. So you can just grab this right from Outlook and just paste it right in there. I scroll to the bottom, I hit send. Can we make it any easier than that? We're going to steal the caveman line, but it's already taken already. So there you go. That's how easy it is. Josh, I already have an email service I use. So I'd say about 80% of agents don't have it. That's why we built this here. But if you already have it, great. You go to the bottom here, you pick your campaign. All you do is you hit copy HTML. I can use this right in my service. I think Redtail has one. If whatever CRM you use, you can just copy and paste that right into the service. Use the same campaign, but now you have all your tracking features, like your drip campaigns and your all your alerts and everything you normally have there. And your emails are probably stored in there already. So that's an extremely simple way to send out the marketing to your clients from here. So quote and apply is kind of the bait. The marketing feature is the net to cast out. So that's really a simple way to go ahead and market life with long-term care riders to your platform as your home right now. And who knows how long this is going to last for. But again, I would highly recommend, because people are panicking right now and they're buying life insurance. So hopefully we take advantage of the marketing features. It's a great tool. If you have your own, you can still take advantage of it. That's all I have for you here today. I want to open this up to questions now. I already see a bunch come in, but just go ahead and ask your questions. Again, if you don't have an account, go into the chat box on the right-hand side, set up your account, and I'll be happy to work with you. Reach out to your marketing manager with more questions. But again, right now, go into the questions here, ask them, and I'll answer some questions here as I speak. Thank you so much for everyone for taking the time. Next week will be a Kaizen webinar. A really interesting approach to building retirement for future income using Kaizen. Look forward to seeing you hopefully all on that call next week. Thank you so much for your time. And again, have a blessed day. Put your questions in and we'll answer them in a minute here. Thank you again. So the questions are pouring in here right now. Just keep on asking your questions and I'll see if I can get to them. So someone asked, what carriers offer the guaranteed UL with LTC Ryder? From my experience, Nationwide is the only player that has a true guaranteed UL product. So it is a bit more expensive, but Nationwide has the GUL with the LTC Ryder. So I showed you this on the quote. Someone asked about the biggest challenge is showing the lifetime. You can go right into your quote. You can change that from a lifetime to a 10 pay to a 15 pay, 20 pay. Hopefully you saw that. I did show you that on there. I think I answered a lot of these questions here, but let's keep reading through here. This is going to be recorded and sent out to everyone, so that's a no-brainer. So that you'll have the recording. In order to sell long-term care, you do have to do an LTC cert. So that's something you have to do to be able to access the rider. It's a pretty simple course. I've done it. It's not hard at all. Just go into to your Reg Ed stuff and do that LTC course. We do offer something called dual contracting, by the way. So if you already have a current relationship, this question comes up all the time. All you have to do is, you don't have to call and make an uncomfortable call to your current relationship. You merely just use our technology, go through it, and then when it comes time to apply, we just set you up with a completely separate code once the application is in. And we also do just-in-time contracting as well. Someone asked, they said that, do we have to set up a DocuSign account? DocuSign is built into the software. You do not have to set up a DocuSign account. They also said, do I have to have a Zoom? You do have to have a Zoom account. That's done through zoom.us. Highly recommend it. They have a free option. The first one's free. I used the free one for a year and a half before I bumped up to the $15 a month one. But great feature because you can pass the screen. There are other companies that have that as well. So you just kind of make sure you got to have one now. It's really the futures of how meetings are being held. Just a few more here and I'll wrap this up here. Someone said, is 65 too expensive to buy LTC? Absolutely not. Nationwide goes up to 75. John Hancock will go up to 80. Now, by the way, you can go all the way down to 18 years old with the rider. So someone says, why would I ever do that? Well, the cost of it at 18 compared to 65, whole different ballgame. So you can definitely add it for people who are younger. It's a lot cheaper when you do it that way. Just one more question, I'll let everyone go here. So for that marketing piece, I would just reach out to your marketing manager and then ask them for that piece. I'll make sure that everyone has it so they can get it to you for the marketing piece. All right, that's what I have for now. Again, I thank you so much for being on the call. Hopefully this has been helpful. Again, there's a big issue with long-term care. I'm really hoping that you can take advantage of the feature on your quote and apply and be able to show your client a long-term care rider and the benefits. And again, no matter what happens, it's going to be used. So again, thank you so much. Again, everyone have a blessed day and be safe out there.